everyone, we're going to do a quick video today on how to trim dogs' nails correctly and safely. Now when everyone becomes a groomer for the first time, their biggest fear is cutting a dog's nails. It's easy to understand why. It's the easiest area to make a dog bleed because you could cut into the nail a little bit too far and cut into the quick, which is the vein that runs through the centre of the nail. And plus dogs don't like it, so if they're going to show signs of aggression, a lot of the times it's going to be around having their nails done. So we're going to try and eliminate some of them worries for you. There is going to be times when you cut the quick, but we're going to make sure that we're well prepared for that. And we're also going to try and do it as safely as possible to make the dog as comfortable as possible in this situation, because it is a worry for them. A lot of the time they don't like the sound of the nail clippers. That can be quite frightening for a dog. So generally when we're going to start at the back of the dog. Now before we do anything with grooming, we'll always ensure that we're prepared. So today I've got Dexter, my lovely model, on the table. He's restrained up here on the table at a height that's comfortable for him. He's got a little bit of movement, he's not got too much. Restrain him a little bit more if he's going to jump around. Like make that just a little bit higher so he's got less movement on the table. Got my nail clippers, and I've also got my Trim-X in case I do catch a quick. Now, I generally advise if you are going to be cutting nails, then I'd generally advise starting at the back first. One, they don't really take a lot of notice of what you're doing around their back end unless it's around their genital area. So we can get in there and start with the back ones. So first of all, we're going to look around, we're going to assess his nails. So we're just going to lift the fur up and we're going to have a look. The great thing about Dexter is he's actually got white nails, so we can see the quick, which is the vein that runs through the nails. So we can see where it's pink and there's a white tip. Now the back of his nails don't need a hell of a lot taken off. We'll go to the front nails and we can see they do need a bit more. But I am going to take a sliver off of the back nails just to sort of feel the waters and see how he is, and to show you how best to handle the dog when you're working on the back nails. I'm going to get my hands around the abdomen. I'm going to pull the leg as closely into the body as possible. When they've got their legs bent like this, it's very, very hard for them to kick out. If you're holding it out here, you can see they can pull, and plus it makes them off balance. By coming in here, I'm stabilising the dog and I'm just making them feel a little bit more secure. So I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to take the little tiny white bits off the end of them nails. One, it sort of desensitises them. And two, it gives me a feel for what his kind of temperament is going to be. If you have never cut a dog's nails before, you're not going to know what their temperament is like, because a lot of owners are not always going to understand. So I'm happy with them back ones. They're not touching the ground. That's exactly what I want from them. So I'm going to go into his front nails. Always have a handle on the dog. I'm going to hold it out and again keep the foot as closely into the body as possible. And I'm going to be taking a little bit more away. So you can see, if you look up into the nail shaft there, we haven't hit the quick as that would be bleeding. But if you look over the top, you can see there's still a small amount of white there. Now bear in mind, the quick is going to grow slightly to a point inside. And again, you can see we've not hit the quick. It's going to be growing to a point inside. So I'm going to leave a tiny bit of white there because I don't want to go to where the quick goes. And it can cause the dogs quite a bit of pain. Now you will have some dogs that are going to scream even at just having the nails done without catching the quick. Some dogs are drama queens. You'll also have some dogs where you may catch the quick and they don't even bat an eyelid. So until we've done the dog, we don't actually know. Hey, baby. Good boy. So you can see with Dexter, you know, it doesn't bother him. He doesn't want to be involved. He's tipping his head to the side. He's not interested, but he's not too fazed by it. And finally, his last nail. But again, as I say, it is easier with a white dog nails. But we are going to go to a dog now that doesn't like having his nails done, and he's got black nails, and he's got extremely long quicks. So I'll take you to Shaggy. Right, now we've got Shaggy on the table. I know for a fact Shaggy doesn't like having his nails done, so this is going to be a fun video for you. So first things first, he's restrained correctly at the table. The table's been adjusted so that I'm more at a comfortable height. You want to be comfortable when you're doing nails, especially when you've got a dog that doesn't particularly like it. They're going to feed off of your emotions, so the whole situation can escalate and get a lot worse. So Again, I'm going to take a look at his nails. So I'm going to lift it up and I can see his nails are quite long. And I'm going to start again at the back. So I'm going to hold that into my body as closely as possible. And I'm just going to take a little bit away. All right, baby. So the grip that I've got on him at the moment is a firm grip, but it's not a tight grip. I find if you try and hold the dog too tightly, they're going to fight with you a lot more. Sorry about that. And I'm going to allow him to calm down in between heightened emotions. As you'll see, the others are going to get involved. Just show them the others deciding that they're going to get involved in a bit of the drama. So I'm now going to go in with the next now. Again, making sure I've got a clear view. Okay. So I'm not trying to just crack on and whiz through them. I'm giving him the opportunity to calm down in between. I always recommend when you've got a dog, rather than just when you're letting them calm down, make sure you're holding them in the position you want them to be in. Good boy. Good boy. Might need a little bit of a tussle between us, in between, but nothing that's going to hurt the dog. He's trying to lift his other leg up here to get away. Tibetan Terriers, I'll always recommend as well when you're doing nails, know your breed. Tibetan Terriers are drama queens, extreme drama queens, and they do know how to get out of any situation the easiest way possible. Stay. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah, so allowing him to calm down. Right. Shaggy. There we go. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Now another way I could do this back now, because I'm about to do the inside one, is turn him around and come from the underside. It's not as easy because you've not got the full abdomen, but again, you're not facing them. So, and I just want to take the tip away. Now, if you can zoom in on that, you can see there's a white centre to the nail. That means we're getting closer and closer to the quick. That's coming on black nails. That's sort of an indicator that you're getting closer to the quick. So we're going to take a look again at the nails. Stand. Stand. Shaggy. Stand. Just take another look, and now they're not touching the ground. The indicator is we don't want the nails touching on the ground. If they're touching on the ground, this is going to put a massive strain on their skeleton. If it puts a strain on their skeleton, it then puts a strain on their joints. If their joints are then strained, it can lead to arthritis. So if we do have some dogs that do have long quicks, but they're now, the quick part of the nail is touching the ground, then we're generally better off cutting the quicks, because the implications over the long term are less having a bleeding quick than if we leave the nails and they're putting strain on the skeleton. So now we're going to come in on the front nails. So in this instance, we can see Shaggy knows how to get away. He doesn't like to see it going on. So he's going to spin and he's going to know everything that he can do. So in this instance, I recommend if you're working with someone else, ask for an extra pair of hands as a restraint, or you can use some of the other restraints available. Stay. Stop. So I've lifted the hair up so that I've got a good view of the nails. Shaggy. Stay. So I am going to try and do this a little bit quicker. Right, got rid of the other dogs. Still having a little bit of a wrestle with Shaggy. As you can see, he really doesn't like having his nails done. This is gonna be something that you're gonna come across in the parlour a lot. So I'm now going to try and restrain him by having my arms around the body, because obviously I'm working alone at the moment. And I'm just going to try and whiz through them nails. And that's a common Tibetan scream, by the way. Calm down, calm down, calm down. And we've got the nails on that foot done. Now, if you had have pulled the click whilst doing the nails, obviously you have your Trimix powder at hand. The way I use it, stop Shaggy. The way I use it, stop, stay, is get a nice grip on the foot. Again, this is always easier said than done when you've got a dog that is going to be jumping around on the table. I'm not doing it anymore, just calm down. We're just showing them. Calm down, calm down. So obviously then the end of the nail is going to be bleeding. So the reason I'm going to try and get a firm grip on the leg is, one, I'm going to want to slow the blood flow down to the end of the foot. Generally, obviously get your lid open. I'll normally dab my finger on the bleeding part and then stick it in there, because then that way you'll see the powder doesn't properly stick to your fingers unless they're wet. So if I've dabbed a little bit of blood on there, and then I'm going to hold, and I'm going to try, you're going to have a cavity in there where the vein is. So I'm going to try and ensure that I'm getting the Trimix up inside the cavity to stem the bleeding. And that is how you cut nails.